The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
Farming isn't just in the land, it's in you. Take control of weeds like never before. Enlist builds on the Roundup Ready system, combining proven control of a new 2,4-D and glyphosate in Enlist Duo herbicide. Protect what matters without changing the way you farm. Talk to your seed or crop protection supplier today.
Our weed of the week is toothed spurge.
You know, there's always an unusual weed that you just haven't seen before, and all of a sudden, hey, I got a spot out in this field that has this strange weed out there. I got that call probably 10 or 15 years ago with the first time I ever came across toothed spurge.
I think it's longer ago than that now, Darren.
Well, I don't want to admit many more years than 10 or 15, Brian, but still, back to when I first saw toothed spurge, the farmer said, man, I got this weed, and when I break the stem, it's full of milk. And so we started thinking of all the weeds that had milk in them, and most of the ones we were thinking about were things like leafy spurge, dandelion. We've got perennial weeds. Toothed spurge, however, is just an annual. When you look at the weed, it's got toothed edges on the outside of the leaves. It's not thorny or prickly that way, just serrated edges on the outside of the leaves. That's how it got the name toothed spurge. And as far as control goes, a lot of the contact killers that have pretty good burn do a nice job. For example, starting out pre-emerge in mini crops, you can use Sharpen or Sharpen premixes. Things like Verdict in corn, things like Optil in soybeans can definitely be used to wipe out toothed spurge early. Post-emerge is where it gets a little more tricky because some of the products do okay and some of them are not quite as good. In corn, I really like Buctril, especially when you mix atrazine with it or when you increase the rate to the highest end of the labeled rate of Buctril. In wheat, I really like Husky, especially at the strong rate because Husky contains some Buctril as well. In soybeans, there aren't as many good choices. With soybeans, I really like Roundup Ready soybeans or Liberty Link soybeans. That gives you the best option. Other products that could be used would be things like Flex Star, Cadet, and Cobra.
Well, Roundup isn't fantastic on toothed spurge, so the key is if you're going to spray Roundup that you spray it when that toothed spurge is very small. And again, there are certainly some tank mix partners and pre-emerge herbicides you can use. Well, that's it for our Weed of the Week, toothed spurge, but stay tuned, Iron Talk is coming up next.